Hi everyone, it's Justine here from House of Mahalo. Thanks so much for joining me. So this is part 2 of making this cute little mini envelope folio. Part 1 is linked in the description box down below in case you haven't seen it. So today we're going to go ahead and bind the papers into this little cutie. But before I do that, I also want to make a notebook that's going to go with it. So it's going to be like a coordinating notebook. So I'm going to put this to one side just for now. And this notebook is going to be just as easy as the folio and also uses up leftover papers. Okay, so what I've got here is 2 A5 sized envelopes. It's A5 in the UK, which is just shy of 6.5 by, I think that's probably about 9 inches. Now this is far too tall for my notebook, so I'm going to cut them down, but I just wanted it to be a nice size to go with this. So the size I'm actually going for is something like this, and together that's going to look really cute. So we're starting with the bigger envelopes simply so that we can cut things down. So I've just made some marks about how big I want my envelopes to be, and I will tell you the new measurements once I've cut them down. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut them both together, and then we'll just glue up any sides that we've opened. That's straight, perfection. Okay, so the new size, now that we've cut those down, is just over 5.5 by 8. So much more in line with what I want. Good for my papers, but also cute to go with this little folio. Okay, so we have, of course, got bits flapping all over the place, so we're going to go ahead and close those up. I don't want to keep any of the envelopes open, so if I'm just going to run some glue along the sides that are open. Sorry if I'm all over the place, it's oops, I've got a little bit of a cramped space today. Okay, so that's one. And again the other, just closing up what we've opened basically. But this is a great way to use those envelopes, and you know, you don't have to go with what size they are. You can go with what you think you need and all the rest of it. Okay, so that's my 2 envelopes. Of course, if you have the right sized envelopes for what you need, you won't have to do that part. You can obviously go straight to this next step, which is just like the envelope folio. We want to get our 2 envelopes and we're going to put one inside the other. So I've got my flap of my envelope and I am just going to slip that inside. Now, where I've glued this top edge, I might actually struggle, so I'm just going to open that and I'll re-glue it after, because I just want to get this envelope in. That's better. Logic was never my strong suit, so I'm just going to make sure that those envelopes are in the right place. So I might actually just close them up 2 secs. That's it. And then ever so carefully I'm going to glue that flap shut, but on top of the other envelope. So I'm just going to run some glue here, like so. And a bit here too. Yeah, envelopes, they always confuse me. I think I said that in part 1. Okay, so we've got that, and they're now joined together. we have this flap just like last time, so you can either choose to make that your like, you know, a decorative piece or part of your closure or something like that. I'm going to go with the simpler option, which is just simply to glue it down. That's it. And that will also help join the two envelopes together as well. Like so. Lovely job. My glue is bubbling up like anything. And then just for safe measure, and also to strengthen our envelopes for when it comes to binding the pages in, I'm going to use some of this strong brown tape along what will be my spine. And then I'm just going to, cut off the excess. That's it. It's another sunny afternoon, as you might be able to tell. Okay, and then I'm just going to re-bone folder that down. There we go. So what we have now is a very simple notebook cover. Obviously I wasn't keeping the actual envelope pockets open. I was just simply using this like you would card, I suppose, or scrapbooking paper, just simply for my cover. Just making sure that everything is lined up nice. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So I've got, upside down, this piece for my cover. I probably need to cut some of the papers down a little bit because I think I want a little bit more of a border. Similar to this one, I've got a tiny little slither around all of my pages. So I want this for my front cover, so I don't want to lose any of the actual image. So it really is just absolute smidgens I'm taking off. So I think that should be fine height-wise. Just checking it. Yeah, and then I'm going to take some off this edge. Again, absolute smidgens. Yeah, I think that will be what I'm after. Okay, so I need to do some inking. So I'm using tea dye, and I'm just giving it a really thick edge all the way round. Just because I'm using white envelopes, so I want there to be, you know, a nice, not grungy, but not white edge. Nothing wrong with the white edge, of course, but I just prefer it not to be like that. And then what I do as well is I just come in a little bit so that if my papers are a little bit short, then you have like a nice border around it as opposed to the whiteness. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get all of my papers cut down, just like what you've seen me do there with, I'm just using my trimmer to get them to the right size. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and ink around them all, and we'll come back and do the rest together. Okay, so I've got all my papers cut down to size. I just sort of do it by eye and just take off smidgens until I'm, you know, relatively happy, and nothing is ever perfect, and that's fine by me. I don't need perfect in my life. So we're going to go ahead and get these stuck down with, I'm using Kalau. I use this for matting most things because you can get a good wiggle room with it. You can cover a large surface area relatively quickly, and then any edges I do with my art glitter glue, because that sticks them down really, really well. But the art glitter glue doesn't give you movement like the Collal does, and I rarely get things in the right place first time, so as you can see by my manoeuvring right now. And then anything that isn't, you know, quite right, I will just go in with some extra inking. What I'm making sure to do is just stay out of my spine, because I don't want to put extra bulk there. So the spine, the crease part of the spine where the signatures are going to go, you know, is slightly in from this. So let's get this one down as well. So we'll get all of these matted in the same way. So this is exactly what I did for the mini envelope folio in part 1. And we obviously have this gap down the middle where my papers don't meet. I'm okay with that. I will see what it looks like once we've got the papers in. If it looks not great, then we can just put some washi down or fabric or something. I'll sort of see how I feel once I've got all of this done. Right, this is going to be my back. I thought with the logo or the label, the London Printing Company, I thought it looked kind of like a back cover piece. So I'm going to do the same thing. Feel free to fast forward me. I tell you, it's so nice to have sunshine coming through the window. Here in the UK, we've had easily, you know, a very, 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 very wet March. Wetter than the last few years has been. They say April showers bring May flowers. That's the saying, isn't it? But we had all of our rain came in March. But yeah, so April, you're to be a sunny month, okay? I'm putting it out there in the universe. And that's going to be my front cover. Lovely. Oh, that's a good point. I was going to have a book plate on the front. So this is a die cut. I have done a video on these dies. I think they came from Globaland, but I can't be sure. I do have a video on it. And also I've got this nameplate in the middle journal. I just type up in a Word doc and print them myself. And I've just got a couple of heart-shaped brads poking through. Now I think the decision I made was that I was going to just simply glue this on top rather than go through this paper, because they are only little brads anyway. Yes, okay. I just wanted to make sure that I didn't I didn't confuse myself. Okay, so go around here, and it's only made from paper, that nameplate, book plate, so glue should just be fine. Obviously use a strong glue, but glue nonetheless. That's it. I've enjoyed working on these little projects. I've probably said that a few times, I'm sure, but yeah, it's been enjoyable to make, you know, little projects that you can easily get done in an afternoon type of thing. Okay, and then whilst I've got you here, just looking at where I want this. I think I'm just going to go in the middle. So I'm just going to use my Beacon 3-in-1 glue. Just over the middle part to get the brads and everything. And I'm just going to position it where I want it. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. I'm just going to press those brad legs down. I might go in with my art glitter glue just to get the edges a little bit better, but essentially that's what we're going to have. I do feel like it might want a butterfly. So I'm going to go around all my edges with my art glitter glue, just where I've got bits, you know, sticking up and everything. I've got it in this little bottle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll see if I can find a butterfly, and then it really will match the first one. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I believe all of the papers are glued down well now. What I've also just done is put some washi down the centre, just where I had a bit too much of the craft tape showing for my liking. Now I thought I would add this butterfly down there so that it matches the little folio, so they've both got the same colour butterfly on. I just felt like the cover wanted something more. I'm just going to pop that down here, and just like the folio, I'm going to make sure that the wings are glued down well. Being the cover, we don't want those flying off. That's it. Just a little bit of glue there. There. I think that finishes that off nicely. So we're going to do the binding in a minute. What I also wanted to have a think about is some lace along the spine. So this is some tea-dyed lace. It's just lightly tea-dyed. But I feel like that's going to finish that off really nicely. But I'm going to do it after the binding so that we can cover the binding up. That's just the look that I personally prefer. Okay, so I have got some papers cut down to size. This comes from an art sketchbook. It's got a really nice creamy colour. They were A3 sheets, so I've had to cut them down to, you know, quite a bit, but it's really nice creamy paper, nice and thick, and good quality. I think this is going to go with the project quite nice. So I've got 10 sheets here, I believe. So we're going to get this one bound together, and we're going to get the papers in the other, you know, the little folio that we've been working on together as well. So I think they fit better that way around. All right, so I've got my awl and my binding stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle first. So I want that needle. And we're going to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Now for this project, because it's only a little notebook and it's only 3 holes, I'm thinking I'm going to use one of my offcuts of binding thread. Normally you say you'll do 3 lengths, the 3 lengths of your book, isn't it? But for little projects like this, I try very hard to use offcuts where possible. So like long strips like this should be ample for a little notebook. So wish me luck as I try very hard to thread my needle. Got it. Okay, perfect. All right, because it's only 10 sheets, I'm just going to go ahead and bind it straight into the cover. I will use a paper clip. So just going to line those up and just give that a tap to get them to go into the spine. And then I'm just going to go straight through the middle. That's it. And you'll notice when I'm binding, I'm pushing the book closed like this, just because I find that you're more likely then to get your pages to go into the spine. When I'm doing big projects like big journals, I'll use a book binding cradle that my husband made for me, but for things like this works just fine. Okay, so we've gone out through the middle and we're going to come in through either the top or bottom hole. Typically my papers have moved despite the paper clip, but that's okay. There we go. So I'm going to take that off, seeing as that's doing absolutely nothing for me. And just going to give that a little bit of a tug just to get a longer thread. There we go. And we're going to come out through the hole that we haven't done yet. There are lots of videos on doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, so I'm sorry if I'm going a little bit quick, but we're going to do it 3 times because I've got this to do and also the little folio, so you'll see it a few times. Okay, and then we're going to come out through the middle. Now be careful not to go through your thread. If you do, it's not the end of the world. That's the biggest thing I will tell you, is if you go through it, don't worry. There are ways to fix it. And knowing me, knowing being on video, I've probably gone through it. Let's have a little look. Okay, so you want 1 thread on the left hand of this middle one and 1 on the right hand. I know it's difficult to see because it's light coloured thread on a light coloured paper, but like I said, there's lots of videos on a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and mine, I believe, is okay today. Perfection. It rarely goes right. For me, at least. Okay, so I'm just going to pull those nice and snug, but not so much that I rip any papers. And then I like to do a double knot. And because this is only a small notebook, I'm just going to cut off the ends in a minute. Not going to bother with any bows or anything today, especially as we were using an offcut of thread. Okay. Looks like we're in there nice. Simple, simple. Yeah, looks good. Just gonna tidy those outer holes up a bit. But we're gonna cover that with lace in a minute, aren't we? Nice. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, cool. So shall we do that again? Let's grab this one. So again, I'm gonna look for an offcut that I think will work for this. Good way to get these used up if you've got, you know, long strips like this. Okay, so for this little folio, I've got 3 sheets of parchment paper. So it's thicker than copier paper, but thinner than the art paper you've just seen me using. So I want to put 1 signature in the front here, I've decided. So because it's only 3 sheets, I'm going to be brave and just go ahead and stick it through. So same as before, I'm just keeping the book closed on itself whilst I do the spine. And then we're going to do another 3 sheets in the back as well. I did think about doing 6 sheets in just in the back, but then I decided that actually I quite liked it how it was looking with front and back. So yeah, just go with what you think you want to do. Should have used that paper clip. I didn't think it helped me in the first one, but it clearly helped a bit, because now this is going to be a right a right fudge, so that's okay. Sorry if you can't see too much, and like I say, I know lots of people know how to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, but I'm just aware of the fact that sometimes we YouTubers we make decisions on what we think you should or want to see, and then, you know, sometimes we get it wrong. So I'm just going to take that piece out because it's in the way. There we go. You know, yeah, sometimes we get it wrong. So I thought if I just show you everything, and then you can decide whether you want to watch or not. Okay, last hole. Okay, I think I've got it. I might have come through the threads on this one, so let's have a little peek. Yes, I have. So if you find that happens to you, and it happens to me certainly enough times, you just want to pull it out like that if you can see that it's happened. And then again, we want one on each side. Just pull that snug enough. That's it. And again, I'm just going to double knot it. It's only 3 sheets, so it doesn't need a huge amount. That's it. And I can just throw those little bits away. Okay, so that's one signature. Yep. And then we're going to put another signature, again 3 sheets of the same paper in this back one. That's one hole. Whoop, moving. 2 holes. And 3 holes, and I'm just going to keep that in there because I realise I haven't threaded my next next needle. Hope the lighting isn't too bad. I am aware that I'm doing this at sunset, so the lighting isn't the best today. But like I say, there are lots of videos on doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch online if you've not done one yet. And little projects like this are a great way to get comfortable with the binding process as well, because I know it can be a little bit daunting when you're new, and you know, especially to go straight into a full-sized journal can be a bit daunting. So, you know, projects like this, little projects, little notebooks, mini journals, they're all really great, you know, great for beginners basically. It looks a little bit messy because I'm using an offcut, so I've got a lot less thread to play with than normal, which is why it looks a bit trickier. So yeah, if you are new, definitely use cut off more thread than you think you'll need by a long shot. But you know, for those of us who have done this enough times, I can see that my needle wants to come through that thread. There we go. Yeah, offcuts are a great way to get them used. Okay, let's just check that. I have no idea how long I've been filming for. There we go. Just want to check. Looks to be good. And then we can knot that off as well. Okay, let's just check that. Yeah, that's good. And then where did that come from? That was in this pocket, wasn't it? That's right. Alright, let me just pop these bits away before I lose my needle or my awl or something. Okay, how are we looking? That's looking good, isn't it? Yeah, like that. So this is the folio now fully complete, apart from I think there's a few pieces of ephemera to to decorate, embellish, which we may do on video. I haven't quite decided. It depends, you know, how much there is. We'll have a little look. So we've got our little pocket here and our signature. So this gives you, in total, it's 24 sides of journaling space. I think 12 sides in each part of it. And then of course you've got all the, you know, journal cards and things. And extra writing space there. And another one. And then this is for in there, isn't it? Yeah, I love this. I think that is so cute. So now I've got the papers in, I can get on and do my closure. So I want it to wrap around a couple of times and then tie with a pretty bow. That's it. So that will do. Okay, that's one piece. Okay, so back to the notebook. I would like to put some lace along the spine. I've got this really pretty tea-dyed lace. And I think that's going to look lovely. So I'm not going to put heaps of glue on, I just want enough to catch it, but not so much that I end up getting it shining through the lace. So I am going to go slow with the lace, slow with the glue. So I'm just using my beacon, it's like Fabri-Tac. And oops. And I'm going to do it in stages so that it doesn't, this glue has a tendency to shine through, like has like a shiny finish. So I just put like small amounts on, and then if I get any big bits I'll smudge it with my finger before gluing things on top. I think this is going to finish this off really nicely. So I'm going to hit pause just whilst I get this all glued down and cut down, and then I think that will be it. I think that will be the last bit of the process. Whether I want to put pockets inside this notebook, I'm not sure, so I'll have to have a think about that. So I'll come back and we'll have a look. Okay, that is the little notebook done as well. As I say, I was just adding lace and the closure on it. I might very well put, you know, a pocket or two inside this. It will just be something made from scrapbook paper. It might just be a belly band, really simple like in this one. But I haven't quite decided yet. But that's going to make a really cute little set to go together. So for the folio, all I want to do is just finish off a couple of pieces of the ephemera, a little bit of decorating, you know, nothing too much, but just a little bit here and there. But yeah, what do you think? I think they go really nice together. I hope that my video was helpful to see. I hope you could follow along with the process. I hope you like how these are looking together. I think they look so sweet. I didn't realise I put butterflies the same way. There we go. Oh, they're flying together. Anyway, so that is my project. So in terms of papers I've got left from what I started with, that isn't it, is it? I don't know what I've done with them now. I haven't got very many left. I know I've got this one. I think that was pretty much all I had left. I think I maybe had one A4 sheet left. So that's not bad from what we started with. So yeah, sweet little project just to use up your digitals. So I hope you enjoyed seeing those come together. I hope you enjoyed the videos. The sun is starting to set now, so I'm going to go off and have my dinner. But yeah, thank you ever so much for joining me, keeping me company through that, and I hope you like the project. We'll speak soon then, everyone. Thanks so much, and bye-bye for now.